So today I'm actually going to show a demonstration of a progression to get to a ring muscle up in the future. Today won't be an actual ring muscle up, but it will be some of the steps that you can start practicing on your own before and after class or in a personal training session with one of the trainers to really get your back and your lats and to get the movements down and strong enough to be able to perform a muscle up on the rings going forward. So the first thing that you need to do when starting to progress into a muscle up is you'll go ahead and set your rings so that your rings when you are on your knees are about at your shoulders. You want this because as you go ahead and you perform the movements as we go through the beginning steps in the progression, you'll be able to use your feet and your legs for stabilization, as well as to help with some of the strength that's required that may not be had just yet. So one thing that you really need to concentrate when doing muscle up or any of the progressions is to really focus on tightening your core and tightening your lats in the back, and that will really help. So set your rings so that they're at your shoulder position. Give them a good tug to make sure that they're nice and tight and that you're not going to have any issues going forward and that they're safe. So the first thing that I would tell you to do is to put your knees forward in front of the rings. So if you let the rings go, the rings are going to be slightly over your shoulders or behind your shoulders. You'll get on your knees and you'll sit straight up. But before we start, you want to hold the rings with a false grip. This shortens the length that you're using of your arms. It gives it a shorter length, and it helps you to move through the movements as you do the progression. So you'll put your hands through the rings. You'll turn your hands around so that they grab the part of the ring that's facing you. This is called a false grip. So if I ask and I say, who wants to do a muscle up? You'd be able to point to yourself and you'd say, this girl wants to do a muscle up. Okay, so that's called a false grip. So with your knees slightly in front of the rings, your hands in the false grip position, the first step for the progression is just to activate your lats and pull the rings to your sternum, to your chest, like this. Okay, so practice that a few times, pulling it to your lower chest, your sternum, not in your throat area. Once you've gotten that down and you can do that, you will have your feet on the ground. So when you pull up, you can see that my legs are underneath me and helping to support the weight of my body. So you'll go ahead and you'll pull up to your chest, and then using your legs, you will push your body through so that your chest is forward and your arms are close to your body. Your toes are still on the ground at that point, helping to hold you stable, as well as to helping to push you forward. So to break it down, first is to pull your chest, second is to pull your body through, and third would be you can either lift your feet off the ground or use your toes and your calves to help push your body up on the rings so that you are doing a kind of like a ring dip at the top. So you'll be pulling from the bottom of the ring dip and then pushing up, okay? So it looks a little something like this. You're gonna pull, you're gonna turn, and you're gonna push up. To get down, toes on the ground, come back down to your dip, turn yourself back out, and in. So that's the first progression that you guys can practice when you come to the gym to start preparing your body and preparing your muscles for a ring muscle up.